Hey, my name is Missouri Lewis Smith, and I'm going to be giving you my honest and unhinged review on various video games over time. So grab a controller or a drink, and let's turn on our favorite video game system for this new show called... Jiji, Luna, what's wrong? For this new show called... For this new show called... What's wrong? Don't speak cat. Wait a minute. So if my calculations are correct, if I just simply record the sound waves and flip the polarity to reciprocate the brain waves, then replicate the both, I should be able to translate the cat's brain and sounds to my human understanding. But if the X polarity fails to mix with the Y, then we'll have to slightly dumbify the waves to best fit the human wavelength for communication as well.
Stupid human person is orange. I can't focus on me. Fish harding perfect too, but in very large
Translation complete.
Yes, I can understand.
Big-eyed fish face, good for nothing eyesore.
I can understand everything.
Great, you can finally understand how useless you are.
Yeah, and by the way, lunch is late by 34 seconds and counting.
Chop chop.
It's always food with you too.
That's not the only thing.
Yeah, not the only thing.
If you're going to create a video game review show, you might as well do it right.
Yeah, do it right.
But I haven't even gotten started.
No worries, we have been watching the many hours you play these video games and all the unspeakable things you do in between.
Unspeakable.
Oh god.
I'm Jiji.
And I'm Luna.
And welcome to...
Whiskers and Controllers.
Wait a minute, Whiskers and Controllers? That's not even the name of the show.
Well, it is now, and there's nothing your big head but tiny mind can do about it.
Nothing.
Then what am I supposed to be doing throughout the whole show?
Isn't it obvious?
Yeah, that food bowl is looking pretty empty.
But it's still half full.
Silent human.
Shut your mouth and make yourself useful.
Retrieve the treats right now. Chop chop.
Yeah, chop chop.
Okay.
Well, meow, that's out of the way. Let's get this show started.
Yes, let's.
For our first episode, let's talk about the new game, Little Kitty, Big City.
Released on May 9, 2024 and developed by Double Dagger Studios.
Wait, this is the automatic feeder.
Play the clip. It's me!
That's not you. It's Little Kitty.
Oh, what is Little Kitty, who looks exactly like us, doing?
In Little Kitty Big City, you get to play as a black cat, like me, who has lived their whole life indoors, but during a routine 16-hour nap, suddenly finds themselves falling off the windowsill and down into the big city below.
Talk about scary. I would hate to disturb my 16-hour sleep schedule.
I agree. That's rule number 47 of the feline code. Never disturb a kitty's slumber.
Little Kitty finds themselves in an unknown part of the city, and it is their mission to figure out how to get back home.
But how could Little Kitty get back home? Little Kitty must be so tired from not getting enough sleep.
You're right, Luna. Little Kitty must be hungry too. It's almost second lunch. They would never be able to get back home on an empty stomach.
No worries. When there's a fish, there's a way. Little Kitty will encounter many obstacles.
But we'll also meet many new friends along the way. After all, sometimes the best way to solve your own problems is to help someone else.
Jiji, let's talk about the game and art design.
Okay, the big city seems to be loosely based on modernized small cities in Japan. The world is a totally 3D one, but has the cartoony look of 2D aspects and cell shading with plenty of bright and colorful aspects of the city to go around. It's definitely a city that I would love to live in.
Whoa, look at that stupid human. He has no face.
Yeah, they all don't have faces. They are unimportant.
Of course, but I guess your own servant should be recognized.
You hear that, human person, Misore?
Me?
Ooh, hideous.
A face only a mother could love.
But that's our human.
What a shame. But we still somewhat love him.
I guess he's tolerable.
Aw.
Barely. But let's continue on with the game after this short commercial break.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
You humans suck at entertaining your cats.
But that is no surprise.
We have the perfect solution to serve your cat overlord.
Introducing the Paw Switch Pro.
It's a cat scratcher / cat house that your overlord will enjoy.
That's right. They'll love it, as I have thoroughly enjoyed it myself. Sometimes scratching my claws on the sofa gets a tad boring.
Yeah, boring.
So the Paw Switch Pro is the perfect alternative to that. My claws are as sharp as ever.
Let's test it on our human later.
Yes, let's. But the Paw Switch Pro is also good for other things as well.
It's a cat-tastic place to sleep. I love sleeping in it myself.
Me too.
The Paw Switch Pro is Jiji and Luna approved, so be sure to check out the link in the description below and pick 1 or 2 up for your own cat overlord.
Yes, pick one up.
As little kitty begins their adventures in the outside world, you start to fill out a to-do list, which are tasks usually given by other animals you find in the journey. They can range from collecting a number of shinies throughout the game for Crow, finding lost ducklings for an irresponsible father duck, to helping the scientist Tanuki find feathers to undergo questionable science experiments, in which little kitty becomes the unfortunate test subject.
Wow, a to-do list? Sounds like a lot of work.
Agreed, I can barely get through my to-do list.
I don't even have a to-do list. What's on yours?
12 p.m. wake up and eat lunch. 12:30 p.m. nap. 1 a.m. wake up and dinner. 3 a.m. chaos and destruction. 4 a.m. sleep. Then repeat.
Wow, sounds busy.
It's really tiresome, but I like to be consistent.
Also, there are achievements you can earn in the game that you discover along the way, such as catching birds, breaking a number of items, and much more. Not only that, there are various hats you can collect throughout the city and earn from different animals.
Yes, I love wearing my hats. There are plenty to choose from.
I wouldn't be caught dead in one of those monstrosities.
Oh, but you look so cute and precious wearing them.
Indeed, all that is true, but such exclusive content is only made available for a fee on my Only Paws account.
Whoa, we'll talk about that a little later. I'm getting a bit hungry.
Me too. Little Kitty does too and finds quite a number of fish out in the world. Each fish gives Little Kitty more energy to help make the long climb back home.
Ah, fishy. That sounds so good right now.
Indeed, it does. But in order to get fishy, Little Kitty has to be a bit cunning and mischievous to obtain them.
Little Kitty Big City is a fun, cute game. I loved meeting all the animals in the city, especially playing hide and seek with the magician Chameleon, who is terrible at hiding but great at riddles. Being a part of Tanuki's scientific breakthroughs, although I didn't like being called a test subject, and especially loved helping Big Potato playing the villain Boss Cat versus Geku, and bringing together the ducklings.
It's a fun game, but there are also some annoying aspects to it. The controls of Little Kitty are simple, but the jumping mechanics can be a bit bothersome and weird. You can sometimes do some unintentional jumping or very awkward camera angles that can scar a human child. And sometimes there are glitches in the game, like getting stuck in a trash can or frozen in a box or stuck in midair. It's really odd, and when this happens, we usually have to save the game and reboot.
It was quite a scare the first time.
The game does have its issues, but overall, it was an enjoyable experience. We played this after day 1 of release, but since then, the game had a few updates to fix some of the issues that other players discovered.
Well, we don't want to spoil the game for people who haven't played it yet, but we have enough experience with it to give our official rating.
Indeed we do.
Let us introduce the Paw Scale rating system.
The Paw Scale rating system is based on 5 categories that we felt would be best to sum up a game. These categories are game design, which focuses on the level designs, art, details, and activities/quests in the game. Controls and game juice, the difficulty of the controls such as movement of the character, camera movements, and intuitiveness and the feel of the controls within the game.
We are also looking at the music and sound effects, how it fits within the game and how it made us feel throughout the story. Entertainment, whether or not the game was fun and enjoyable, which is extremely important, and also whether the game had a great story and kept us interested in playing more. And the last category is replayability, which is whether or not we would like to go back and play the game after beating it, and also play with or recommend it to friends and family.
The scale is out of 25, with each category getting a maximum of 5 paws. This may change over time, but let's get straight into it.
Little Kitty Big City is a fun and cute game, and we can't wait for people to reach the top of the apartment and discover the game's ending. But the game isn't very long. You can beat the main story within just 2 to 3 hours of playing, maybe even quicker.
But there are a number of side tasks you can do on your to-do list and achievements that you can try, which will add a few more hours of gameplay. There aren't too many areas to explore, and the controls are a bit wonky, although I personally appreciate the cat-like movements and even the ability to use cat expressions, which are really cute, but doesn't seem to have any real use in the game. It was odd that there were no cars in the game, but they justified that by stating that the area was flooded in many places, which Tanuki is on the job of solving with bubblegum.
The game's sound effects are as expected, with the exception of one annoying occurrence, where it sounds like 20 birds are chirping at once. But the soundtrack by Riley Koenig is fantastic. It does give that big city jazzy vibe that fits well with the environment and the characters. It's something I recommend people take a listen to on their own.
Although small, the game is very entertaining. I enjoyed catching the birds, climbing the buildings, and knocking things over to see if they would bounce. Most didn't, but Tanuki inspired me to try more scientific tests. Although the controls and glitches would get in the way, it was an overall great experience in the game. I also heard that the creator wanted to add more to the game since they didn't have time to fit everything in, so we can probably expect more areas, more tasks, and more hats.
The game is indeed fun, but I'm not sure if I would want to go back and replay it again. There are just not too many things to do. Maybe if there's more DLC down the line that expands the game, then I would be willing to go back and play more, but for now, I did just about everything I really wanted within the first 4 hours of the game. I would recommend playing with a human child though, because they would enjoy it a lot.
And there you have it. We have given this game a 13 out of 25. It didn't blow our paws off, but still not too shabby.
We hope you enjoyed the game and show, and if you have played it yourself, would love to hear what you would rate it and what you enjoyed about the game.
Or didn't enjoy.
Well, it looks like it's just about time for our 16-hour nap.
Wow, time just flies by.
Tune in next time to
Whiskers and Controllers!
That's not the name of the show!
Shut up! Be useful and clean out the litter box.
Yeah, be useful.
Ugh, it's all over my hand.